In today's video, we are going to be building an outbound campaign for a B2B SaaS. Specifically, you will learn how to build a customer persona and a targeted list inside of Clay. Now, the reason why you should listen to me is because in the last week, we used this exact strategy to help a client add $19,000 in revenue using these tactics. And those campaigns have been running for less than a month. So basically, the high level here, what we're going to do is I haven't come up with a company that we're going to be focused on. This is going to be a live workshop. We're going to find a company inside of Crunchbase. We're going to summarize that company. We'll do some account and persona-based research using Chat GPT. And then we'll use GPT to get some insights around how our target company can help its target market for purposes of message personalization. And then, we'll find some other data that we can use for other relevant personalizations. Lastly, then we'll just throw it all inside of Clay, build a list, and you should be able to, finalize your campaign from there. So let's dive into it. So first things first, let's go into Crunchbase. And so let's just do a basic search. So we'll go into companies. We'll just search B2B SaaS as a description. And then in the industry, let's put SaaS. Cool. So I want to go for a company that isn't super, super big, but is more on the come up. So let's say, put our employee size, let's go 11 to 100. Or let's do 50 to 100. See what's right bound. Okay, cool. So this is a company that develops a sales platform that automates and streamlines the sales process. So this looks good. B2B SaaS sales automation. So let's dig into this. So we have, all right, so they're doing generative prospecting. They're looking for some insights, powering customers, revolutionizing prospecting. Who do they work with? They work with agencies. Let's see what other types of customers they have. Looks like mainly they're working with agencies. Cool. So let's dig in. So the first thing we want to do is focus on summarizing this company. So let's do a little chat. We'll pop it open. We'll just simply say, hey, read this website. So as it's reading it, let's see what it says. AI-driven platform, automating outbound sales dev. Platform integrates with tools like Salesforce, Outreach, and HubSpot, helping sales teams focus on high-value activities. All right, cool. So now that we know what we've done there, let's say done. So now let's do a little research around the company. So I think a good way to do this is by scraping the customer stories, because if we can understand who they work with and we can read some of their case studies, then that's going to give us some context into their ideal client, the kinds of problems that they're specifically solving for, and more, right? So I'm going to feed chat a handful of links here. All right, let's take these, decision link. All right, it's cool. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 case studies. See what it does. So it's going to give us a summary of the high level customer stories, which is good. So 400% increase in new customer acquisition, ROI positive outbound channel from scratch, streamlined outbound efforts, saving 30% of SDR time, increased demo scheduling by 40%, and improved contact data accuracy by 200, and 70% and quadrupled connection rates. All right, so these are all pretty good case studies. So this is some good data for messaging. So we can use this in terms of, just calling out specific value props when we're actually doing our outreach. So what I'd like to do now is get a little more granular and say, let's start to understand these kinds of things about the business. So first we want to understand the company type, what type of business they're in, what sort of industry, their size, their location, their revenue, the different technologies that they might use, and who is actually involved in the buying process. So let's ask chat this question now. So these are all of the relevant case studies. So we want to just get this for all of the case studies. So what we'll do is we'll get all the case studies and then we'll just create some personas around these. So, understanding these data points is going to be really useful in understanding how to build our offer and our targeting, right? So obvious understanding the type and the industry, right? So you want to figure out exactly who you're targeting in terms of what industry they're located, how big they are, impacts, where you actually play in the market, right? So if you're going to be working with companies that are 11 employees versus a company that's 1,100 employees, there's a lot differences. There's substantial differences in terms of the operational complexity of the business and the problems that they're currently trying to solve. The location can be local if it's a local business, and then more domestic, US based, North America based, might be working with a multinational business that could work with North America, South America, Europe, Asia, etc. Right? Revenue is important, similar to just understanding the size. Then technologies are really important because that shows you what their stack is, and if you understand their stack, then you have a better understanding of what they're actually accomplishing and how they're getting to those goals. So for example, if you're doing email marketing, you're using a tool like Klaviyo, that's going to indicate that you're actually doing it. So let's see what we have over here. Okay, so some things that we care about are needing to scale prospecting and improve outbound efficiency. You need to build an outbound funnel for larger organizations, needing more efficient outbound prospecting, needing to optimize SDR performance and reduce cost per meeting. So all of these signals are focused on growing the business. So that's an important thing to note, right? So let's summarize these results. Cool. All right, so okay, so now we understand the types of accounts. We want to look at the types of people who actually would be good fits here. So based on these case studies, following persona level data, all right, cool. So now that we know the titles, what they're trying to get done, what they're actually faced with today, the negative implications of that, and how we're actually solving the problem, we have a good basis for like how we actually are going to build out the campaign. So the next step here is understanding a couple things, right? Like, as you can see, this was done insanely fast, right? So we have, let's go get our account research. So our company is called we got to do this. Rightbound is our company. There's a Crunchbase profile. Save it down. All right, cool. So let's get this for Rightbound. Just so we know exactly what it does. All right, cool. So this is going to give us some good data on exactly how to do our targeting. All right, so B2B sales, SaaS, it's in sales tech, mid-sized growing companies based in Israel, not specified around the revenue. This is important to know, like if you can target around their CRM, like Salesforce, Outreach, and HubSpot. You have companies needing to improve their SDR productivity and automate outbound. They've previously been manually prospecting, and then sales and marketing leadership teams typically involved in decision making. All right, cool. So this is broadly what we need, again, for the campaign. So we have some case studies. We have some account level research. We have some persona level research. This is all really good stuff. So let's make it even super simple. Say, so we're just saying, based on the case studies and the users that we have, give us these data points for a ideal customer profile, right? So right, so SaaS, tech-enabled service, or consultancies, right? So looked at agencies earlier. They also work with SaaS. So business with a focus on outbound sales, industry tech, sales dev, and marketing, and then 50 to 500 employees, US based, 10 to 100 million in revenue, using CRM, wanting to scale, manual prospecting, and currently going after the marketing and sales leadership, or SDR managers. So that's consistent with our persona level research. So we have pretty much all you need to build out a campaign. So like you can see, this was done very quickly, and this is pretty great. So let's go into Clay, and we'll start a new fresh table. Start this from scratch. And so let's just start by finding companies. So the thing that we want to do here is just use our ideal customer profile. So we have technology, sales development, marketing. Let's see, video marketing, SaaS, email signature solution provider, outsourced sales dev, AI employee support platform. All right. So based on my understanding, I would say software development is probably going to be a good fit, because a lot of SaaS is actually under software development in LinkedIn, and that's where Clay pulls its data from. So that's a good bet. And let's see, consultancies, I'm not going to do anything there. Sales development and marketing. So let's see if there's anything related to sales development. Let's see. Oops. Nothing around growth. Let's see, market research, marketing services. All right, cool. So we have like two pretty broad markets here. That's going to be a good start. So selecting one or more company sizes. So what you want to do for this is 50 to 500. So because 200 to 500 is pretty big, let's just see what we got. We can start. Not really going to specify if it's private or public. We can include special description keywords, but let's first see what we get in terms of the previews. So let's get rid of all that. Let's hit preview companies. See what we get. All right, so we get 13,000 companies. It's pretty solid. And we got some sales readiness software, active leads, CRM, point of sale solution, other softwares, customer engagement. Yeah, I mean, like, this is super broad targeting, so you're going to get a lot of different stuff. So I'd say this is a pretty good start for us. I mean, if there's any other keywords, we can try some keyword tests. So let's see. Let's break it down. So what would be a few high value keywords, or like, all right, so give me a list of potential targeting keywords that would be included in a company's LinkedIn description. So let's see what we got. Sales automation, outbound sales dev, B2B SaaS, sales enablement, AI-driven prospecting. All right, cool. So let's just like plug these in to get a more targeted list. Because we're at 13, almost 14,000 companies. Like, that's great. But I think it makes a lot of sense to try to really get your messaging dialed in by building out like a tight campaign. And then once you've basically figured out what you need, then at that point you can, scale it up and go more broad. But it's going to be harder to tell how your messaging actually is resonating if you're not using correct targeting. I know these are kind of random in some cases, but I think it's actually going to be pretty solid. So let's see. Let's see if I can just copy and paste all of these. And then it worked. Cool. All right, let's check it out. Preview companies. All right, cool. So we're like way tighter now. This is perfect. All right, so we got almost 600 companies. I'd say Growths, Engagio, Exceligize, these all sound, RevBoss, these all sound like good outbound agencies. All right, cool. So let's import to a new table. Just continue for free. Just looking at their Crunchbase page while we relax and watch Clay do its thing. All right, cool. So now we got our companies, we got our company description, company size, location, domain, LinkedIn URL. This is all we need to really get started here. So what I want to do next is just do a quick exercise on like lead scoring. And lead scoring is like particularly important because when you're building a list and you need to figure out how to prioritize that list and who to spend a lot more time on and who to spend less time on, scoring your list is going to help with that. So the way that we're going to do it is basically if we're going to use the LinkedIn description and some domain analysis to determine if it's a good fit or not. So let's go back to chat and figure out how to prompt it. So write me instructions for an AI agent to prompt it to review a website for the above keywords if they exist more frequently, then the company should be scored higher. If less keywords exist, then a lower score should be given. Rate the company on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad fit, 10 being great fit. We want the agent to review a website domain. All right, so kind of reworked it a little bit. So write me instructions for an AI agent to prompt. We want the agent to review a website domain for fit based on this ideal customer profile. Instruct the agent to review a website for the above keywords, and then you give it the keywords or the for the above keywords. This should be, and then instruct the agent to review a website for the above targeting keywords. I'm hoping that it includes that, and then give the data. And then if the keywords exist more frequently, then the company should be scored higher. If less keywords exist, then a lower score should be given. Rate the company on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad fit, 10 being great fit. Let's see what we got. All right, cool. So it basically gave us 4 steps: analyze keywords, assess company fit, score the website, and then give it a final rating. So let's plug that in. So now that we have this, let's go add column, add enrichment. We're going to do Claygen here. And honestly, the 4.0 mini can be kind of hit or miss. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's super cheap. So we will just use it. So let's say view this website's main pages. Here's the website domain. And let's see what it gives us. Okay, so let's go back to the steps. What we've done here, so we have our case studies, ideal customer profile, persona level research. Then what we want to do is build the company level list in Clay, qualify using ICP and keywords from research. Then we'll score the list for fit based on ICP and keyword qualification. Prompt. Let's see what we got. So we want to instruct it to like give us a final output that's formatted in the same way. So make sure the final output is formatted like with only the score and the rationale. For example, 1, 10. This company is a great fit because, let's see what it does. So let's see, does it even give a score? Gives it an 8 out of 10. So what we want to just do is just get that to the front so then we can actually use it to like sort and filter our data. So let's see if it does. So the thing with any of these prompts is you pretty much just need to test them out. So you just work it and then you get a decent result, and then you just got to keep playing with it to get a really good result. So, this is giving us a 4. So Flexi Sales is not a great fit because the company is based in India. And is it true? Let's see. This is sneaky because sometimes, all right, it says it's based in Nevada. And sure enough, they live in India. So, perfect. This is exactly why we do scoring. Because on paper, this looks, okay, cool, they're based in Las Vegas, good fit. But they're based in India. So because this company wants to work with US-based companies, then it's going to basically be a DQ. So let's see, this one is not a good fit because this one looks all right. This one's great because agency with all those keywords, they're utilizing machine learning technology, estimated revenue. All right, good. So like good quality fit here, right? This thing's timed out. Over time, I would continue to work this prompt, just make it like really, really accurate and really good, because we're just doing this as like a quick demo. I'm going to leave it at this, but you get the point, right? So score the leads based on the criteria that you would find in your analysis and your research. And then the next step from there is you want to find people at these companies. So you take this and you can just say, okay, cool. Sales development leaders, VPs of sales, marketing directors. So let's just go job title, VP sales, VP business development, and marketing director. So we'll go VP of marketing, and then sales, and then director of marketing, director of sales. We want to make sure that these people are based in the US. Let's get rid of that limit. Preview people. All right. So it's pretty tight. 367 people, not crazy amount, but we're getting somewhere here. So now we want to look at the titles. VP of sales, sales director, global marketing, enterprise sales, channel sales. So like that would be an example of something you potentially want to exclude, right? They're a company, they're doing like, product marketing is definitely different than content marketing. So, you want to just keep an eye out for that. So you would continue to hone that, get rid of some of those bad fits, import this to a new table, basic profile, go from here. And then the next step is we can do some personalizations, right? So, right, they're selling a particular let's think. You know what we can do? Let's just do a case study. So let's say prompt for an AI agent to review a company domain and collect the name of a case study in CSV, only return the name of the company as a case study, give clear instructions to think this through. All right, cool. So now let's do this. We'll do another GPT. So this is going to be Clayagent. And we're going to go with mini. And then let's do mission. Let's go domain. So review the company domain and locate any case studies listed on the website. Think through this process carefully by looking for pages specifically labeled case studies, customer stories. When you find a case study, extract the company name mentioned in the case study and return it as a CSV. Ensure that only the company names are returned and formatted clearly. All right, so let's run that. Let's see what we got. Cool. So gives us a lot of different case studies. What you can do here is basically format it. Just be like, so give me everything before the first column in case studies. So, you get a list of 30 things potentially. It just gives you one theoretically. All right, so first column, that should be comma. So let's see. All right, cool. So good stuff there. We'll output that correct. So now look, we have our case study personalization, easy as that. So next thing that we want to do is, we have case studies, and then we want to, last step, forgot to mention this, is find email address of prospect. Cool, so got all this good stuff, add column, add enrichment. I've been using ICPs. They have a whole waterfall here, but I think ICPs is pretty good. So we're going to use that first and just see what we can get. Make sure it's mapped. Full name, company domain, then save and run. There we go. And you can validate this further using their validation tool inside the tool. But yeah, basically, let's see. We got Stephanie Cannon, VP Sales at RevBoss. Looks right. Been there for 7 years. Looks like she's crushing it. Alrighty, so this is how we do it. I'm pretty pumped about it. So basically what we did was we literally just started by finding a good company inside of Crunchbase, and then we did all this analysis in Clay and ChatGPT. So what you would do next is take these emails and create your campaign around this personalization, which is relevant, because case studies are always good things to call out because they show you've done your research. They're always relevant, and do the outreach to these prospects.